Hello and welcome to the show. It was songstress Nina Simone and composer Weldon Irvin who wrote the song To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, specifically for Black boys and girls. The powerful lyrics of affirmation have resonated over the years for the Black community. And my first guest today is 15 years old, an author who's already had a global reach on a mission to change the narrative of young people with dyslexia. Carrington Manous was diagnosed with dyslexia when she was 7 and wants others to know dyslexia does not define her. Welcome to the show, my dear.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you. You are a very accomplished young woman, author, pageant winner. There's so many things, but I know for you, your passion is dyslexia.
Yes, it is. And I think ever since in the 2nd grade, it's really been a journey to see how far I've come and to really help others in need who may not have the access to dyslexia testing.
And you were in 2nd grade, right?
Yes.
When you were diagnosed. Tell me, because I read your book. It's a beautiful book.
Thank you.
And you talked about doing really well in preschool, and then things started moving differently for you. What happened? Explain for folks who don't understand what happens.
So dyslexia is a neurological difference that involves difficulty in to read and interpret words, letters, and other symbols. And I was very nervous to raise my hand in the classroom. I felt like I wasn't as intelligent as my peers. So going to the Skank School, which specializes in teaching students with dyslexia, it made me realize that dyslexia is my superpower, and which is why I've written my first book, Dyslexia Doesn't Define Me, to share the message to young students that dyslexia is and in fact will be your superpower.
So, and in fact it is. So is it that, so describe it for someone who isn't familiar with what happened. Does it feel like words look different? Sometimes you say a different word than what you see? Yes. What happens for you, just sort of real life experience?
So in the 2nd grade, it was really hard for me to read out loud to my peers. I was really nervous. I did see some words backwards and I got my words mixed up in my letters, but eventually going to the Skank School, I learned a lot of different techniques and things for math too, like I ate and I ate until I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. And I still use those tricks today. So I'm very fortunate enough to have gone to the Skank School.
And so sometimes it just feels like the letters are just moving, right? Or numbers are moving, or something flips around, and then you get nervous because you don't want to say it out loud or stumble through it.
You don't want to get bullied or anything for, you know, mispronouncing a word or some letters.
Was bullying ever an issue for you?
It was an issue. A lot of my peers told me that I wasn't intelligent because of my dyslexia, and you know, being 7, you don't realize what dyslexia is, but you know, it doesn't hinder me from anything I want to accomplish.
Right. Clearly it has not, because you've gone on to do some really amazing things.
Yes, thank you.
Harvard debate?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Oh my gosh, it was very exciting to go to Harvard. It's not one of my top schools, but it was very exciting to
I'm just curious. I'm just going to take the bait on that. So your top schools are?
I want to go to Howard.
Of course you want to go to Howard University. Yes. Of course. I promise you I did not know that. I love it. I love it. So tell me about that experience, because going to Harvard debate is still a very competitive process.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
So I want to be a lawyer, and it was very exciting to win 2 out of 3 of my debates going to the Harvard campus University, and it really taught me a lot of techniques that I use today for debating, and I am on the debate team at my school, so it was very exciting to get a new experience and meet a lot of new people all around the world.
So no one is going to look at you or listen to you and think, oh, she must be dyslexic, and that's your point. You don't want people to think that it is something that makes you different. It is just a different learning process, right? So how do you prepare differently than your peers for debates and even for pageants?
Something that a lot of people don't know is when I come home from school or from dance, I take a nap for a couple of hours and I ask my mom to wake me up. And around 12 o'clock I wake up and I, stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning studying for schools.
At 15 already, baby, you've got the rest of your life to be up
I know, but
studying,
I have to make good grades.
I respect the hustle. I
so I
respect
have
the
to
drive.
do things that students, not necessarily, my peers have to do to be on the level that they are on.
Let's talk about your nonprofit and the work you do there.
So I founded my nonprofit in October 2022, and it's really, I've raised $90,000.
That is amazing.
Give to different schools all around the world.
Carrington Cares, right?
Yes, Carrington Cares. And I think it's very important because dyslexia isn't just here in the U.S. So I make sure that I give back to students.
And I want to point out that you do have quite a global reach. Let's talk about this. I mean, there's your work has already been acknowledged in different countries.
Yes. So in the Philippines, they shut down the whole city and they put on an assembly for me, and they named December 15th National Carrington Cares
Wow.
Day, and they named their computer and literacy lab the Carrington Cares Computer and Literacy Lab. So I'm very blessed and humbled to have given back, and I've given back to computers, dyslexia materials, and books to the Kwan Elementary in the Philippines.
Carrington, that is amazing. There's some work in Abu Dhabi as well.
Yes, so I given them my books and dyslexia materials and computers, and I'm very blessed because right now in the making as we speak, they're building a library named the Carrington Cares Computer and Literacy Lab.
That is amazing. What does that feel like for you to go from the little girl in second grade, just to be clear, a couple of years ago, really, just a few years ago, who was afraid to raise your hand, to now being able to touch the lives of other young people?
So it's very groundbreaking, and I'm very blessed that I get to do this in the second grade. I could never imagine being here sitting to you, talking to you about the one thing that I was very nervous to come out and talk about, because dyslexia wasn't a very thing that I talked about to my peers because I thought it made me different and weird, but now I understand that dyslexia is my superpower and I will use that to my advantage.
And you spoke in front of some pretty big decision makers about this.
Yes.
With a Senate bill here as well. Let's talk about your work with the legislation that was passed with advocates pushing for it like you.
Yes, so Senate Bill 48 is a bill that ensures K through third graders to get access to free dyslexia testing, and it also mandates teachers to get and take a course, a 25-hour course, that helps them learn how to, teach students with dyslexia. So I'm very proud to be a part of a great
And there's
big
a big screening component of it as well, which is what I'm sure, your parents, wish for things that were in place here in Georgia early on. If it's something that we know to look for, you can catch it.
You have to learn how to learn with it, and if you don't have dyslexia and if you don't know you have dyslexia, it's very hard to, be on the same level as your peers in the classroom.
Right, and make sure that you're getting the academic care you need.
Yes.
I don't want to run out of time and not have a chance to talk about the fact that you are in a very big pageant coming up as well.
Yes, I am. I'm very excited. This is my second year competing for the title of Miss Georgia's Teen in June.
Okay.
And last year I got third runner-up, so hopefully this year I can come with the crown.
I believe
and
you will.
make Georgia proud. So,
well, let me be very clear, sis. You have already made Georgia proud.
Thank
you have
you so
already made the nation proud. I know there are people watching you and parents watching you who are really impressed, and little girls are watching as well. Tell them one more time the name of your book.
Dyslexia Doesn't Define Me.
I understand. And where can people find you, find the book and find you on social media?
My Instagram is I am Carrington Elon, and my Facebook is Carrington Manous. And really stay in touch with my journey because I plan to do more things in our dyslexic community.
We already know it, Queen Carrington. I'm going to go ahead and claim it and manifest it right here.
Yes.
Beautiful to meet you. Thank
you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see what you do next, my dear.
Yes.
All right. Coming up, you're going to meet a dynamic and dazzling young lady. She is already taking the airwaves by storm with a big hit and a beautiful smile you see right there, along with that big and beautiful afro. You're going to meet Anastasia. Show 'em, girls, show 'em when we return. Hey there, Portia here. Listen, that was a good conversation, wasn't it? Want to see the rest of it? Just go to portiashow.com, scroll down until you see that particular episode. But listen, before you scroll on out of here, I need you to do me a favor, please. Like, comment, let us know what you thought of that episode, and subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, we sure appreciate you. In the meantime, we'll be sure to see you on the next episode of Portia, and you can catch us weeknights on Fox Soul as well. Tell your friends. Tell them to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.